welcome into Pat's Latest. I'm your host, Mike Gambardella, and the season finally underway for your New England Patriots, but not the way any of us wanted to see it start, especially with Mike Vrabel at the helm. The Patriots take the L in Gillette Stadium against the resurgent Raiders. We get into everything from that game. Drake May, the offense, the defense, and everything else that goes into a very disappointing loss, in addition to the stock up, stock down section, a surprising admission on Micah Parsons, and a potential get right spot for the Patriots in week 2. Before we get into everything, make sure you go down and subscribe for the channel. Get in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the game against the Raiders, should the Pats have pulled it out, and what they can do to immediately reverse course and make sure they get back to 500 just 2 games into the season. We start with the loss, and the question is this a stumble or a sign of things to come for your Patriots? Again, the Mike Vrabel era does not get off on the right foot. The Raiders come away with that 20-13 victory, and it's Pete Carroll, the former Patriots head coach, that gets the win, not Mike Vrabel with his up-and-coming quarterback in Drake May, who was not great in the game. At the end of the day, he finishes 30 of 46. Now, if you had to take those numbers for what they are and say 30 completions or 46 attempts, either one you want, you would think you're talking close to 500 yards. He didn't crack 300. And again, that's playing from behind, trying to get things going. Just a 6.2 average would be lowest in the NFL if that were a season average. You put that along with 4 sacks and did throw an interception. There were several balls that were off target, and he just didn't seem fully comfortable. And it's fair to wonder, is that into Josh McDaniel's system, or is it just a young player a little bit too amped up in his first game, really, of this new era? Obviously, he had a few games to acclimate in the back half of the first season last year, but again, really kind of giving him a clean slate and not, unfortunately, what you want to see. It was really Geno Smith, the former Jets quarterback, that showed exactly what he should have been doing. He was 24 of 34 for 362 on the day, averaging 10.6 yards per pass. And again, conversely, that would lead the NFL a season for yards per attempt. Per completion, I should say. The Patriots did do a good job of bottling up Ashton Jeanty in his debut. 19 rushes for just 38 yards, but did find the end zone as well. And we knew that Brock Bowers would be a problem. He did his, getting 100 yards as well. Now, giving up 20 points, not necessarily a bad thing. Scoring 13, not great. And again, for Mike Vrabel, he really focused in on the second half and not getting things done and not taking advantage of bad football. And he said, there were some bad football plays, Rob, that the Raiders had, and they should have taken advantage of it. And instead, the Patriots put in some bad football of their own. No, unfortunately, what this really means at the end of the day is that the margin of error for the Patriots is much smaller now. You have a loss on your books that potentially, or should have, been a win. And if this is a team that really has playoff aspirations, these are the type of games that you needed to win. What the hope is that these Raiders are much better than what we've seen previously. Pete Carroll has come in, turned things around, add Geno Smith, add Ashton Jeanty, a second year of Brock Bowers, Patrick Graham's. Daniel Graham was our former tight end many, many moons ago. Patrick Graham, his defense looks to be much well off than it was a year ago, and Max Crosby, always a problem. Hopefully the Patriots can get right, and the Raiders are better than we thought they were, or else the Patriots could be in trouble moving forward. Looking at the stock up, stock down, and Drake May, obviously we talked about not where you wanted to see him at all. He did have his highlights, including completing a pass to himself on the day. So again, there was good, there was bad, there was a little bit all over the place. But because of that, I think you have to mark Drake May as a stock down with a QBR of just 39.3. it kind of sums it up. The rating at 80.6, nothing to write home about, but not great either. And again, just 11 yards on the ground on 4 rushes. There was a design one in there as well. Wasn't bad. The rushing altogether, just 60 yards on the day. And playing from behind, especially in the second half, led into that. Ramondre Stevenson, just 7 carries for 15 yards. And Travion Henderson getting 5 of his own for 27. There really just was not the ability to get the ground game going, which I think played a big factor overall in what the Patriots were doing. Stock up for Kayshon Boutte, who was the Patriots' leading receiver with 100 yards. Been a while since we've seen a wide receiver eclipse that mark. Took home 8 of his targets for 6 receptions in the game. Hunter Henry also peppered, and Stephon Diggs stepping up later in the game, catching 6 of 7 balls for 57 yards. And it was actually Travion Henderson was the 4th leading receiver with 6 catches for 24 yards. So again, some good, some bad. On the defensive side of the ball, Carlton Davis trying to step up as that number 1 cornerback without Christian Gonzalez there. Just really more underscores the importance of having Gonzalez out there and how that can change things. Carlton Davis looked great. Didn't get credit for an interception that Jalen Hawkins came away with, but it was him kind of undercutting the route by Brock Bowers and getting that done. And as well, put Harold Landry on that list, who looked very much impactful, came away with 2.5 sacks in the game, and looks to be a true leader for this defense. The Patriots will need him to continue to do that. And again, stock up, stock down. There's bad, there's good. Unfortunately, there was more bad than good on Sunday for the Patriots. An interesting confirmation, and one that now you look back on, should they have pulled the trigger, things might have looked a little bit different, but the Patriots continue to build the long-term plan out. It is confirmed by Diane Rossini, respected reporter for The Athletics, that the Patriots did indeed call the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones to engage in trade talks for Micah Parsons. Mike Vrabel kind of eschewed to it being out of their league or not something that we're very much interested in. But I think it's fairly obvious that they said they would do it, they should do it, and whether he was playing coy or not, it's good to know that the Patriots at least are engaged in these things. Rossini also reports that the Patriots were told that by the Cowboys, I should say, that the price of 2 first-round picks and an impact player stood. So it's fair to question that, did Jerry Jones make the right move if the Patriots were actually in on this, to say, you'll get each of our next 2 first-round picks. Would you rather have Green Bay's or New England's? I think it's fairly obvious right now, especially with the Packers knocking off the Lions and looking like one of the best teams in football right now, that you'd very much rather have the Patriots. Now, are you offering up? Did they offer someone like Christian Barmore, Keon White? Would you rather have one of those guys or Kenny Clark? I think you'd rather have Kenny Clark. Now, did Jerry Jones actually get these offers and decide Kenny Clark was worth more than 2 future first rounders higher up in the draft? Or did the Patriots never actually submit the offer, which I feel is much more likely in this scenario? But I think the biggest takeaway in this report is that the Patriots are further along in being engaged in these type of deals, which should lead to hopefully keeping this team around 500 and in the hunt should you get to the trade deadline, that Elliott Wolf and co. could be in on some potential deals. And finally, looking at the Dolphins on deck next weekend and a get-right spot, not just for the Patriots, who had the disappointing loss here, but the Dolphins even further down the scale, a 33-8 blowout loss against Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, that's still Daniel Jones, the former Giants quarterback, seemingly getting it right all of a sudden and playing a lot differently than we've seen previous. Was 22 of 29 on the day and had a touchdown. Also got 2 in on the ground, and looking like the quarterback that the Colts thought they had in Anthony Richardson. So kind of changing things around. Tyreek Hill not happy on the sidelines. Rumors already flying that he wants to be traded and could be rumored to going to the Kansas City Chiefs. So something to watch for the rest of this week of How fast does that happen? Tua Tagovailoa did not look great at all. Actually, was benched late in that game, and Zach Wilson, the former Jets quarterback, was in for the Dolphins as well. And also the secondary wide receiver and could be a one on certain teams. Jalen Waddle was also dinged up in that game as well. A defense that gave up 33 points. A lot of bad going on, unfortunately, for Mike McDaniel's crew. But the Patriots have had their problems in September in Miami. The heat always a factor, so we'll continue to keep an eye on that moving forward. But a potential get right spot for the Patriots on a team that is not looking great. And a very pivotal matchup because this is two teams that are going to need to find the wins in the AFC East if they're looking to sneak into that last playoff spot. And again, we are very far away. We've got 17 more weeks to go. But again, with only 17 games, each one becomes more pivotal than the last. And especially if you're doing it out, we did have in our projections here at Pat's Latest to come away with the win against the Raiders and a loss in Miami because of the problems. If you can at least flip-flop that, get back on track, show that you're starting to understand the concepts and the culture here that Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, Terrell Williams, and everyone else are trying to implement, things can look different quickly, especially in the NFL where life does come at you very, very fast. That'll do it here for us on this episode of Pat's Latest. Again, a tough day, not getting the win for the Pats, but again, some building blocks that they can take moving forward. Let us know what you think of those. Get in the comments. Let us know what's the biggest thing they got to change immediately and what cannot happen down in Miami next week. Make sure you give us that like if you like what you hear. Subscribe for the channel so you get everything in your inbox so you know what's going on with your Pats. Go back and check out our old episodes so you know everything else that you've missed in the past couple of weeks. And be sure to stick with us right here on Pat's Latest as we bring you everything for your New England Patriots. Fight on, Foxborough.